An afternoon that never returned. The last hours of the Dwyer couple. Ballyvaughan, a suspiciously peaceful coastal village. Ballyvaughan is a tiny village that looks like it came straight out of a watercolor painting, nestled on the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, where limestone beaches curve like undercurrents and the smell of salt wafts through the air. With a population of less than 300, everyone knows each other, and every event, no matter how small, becomes a story passed down around the fireplace. If you find this video interesting, don't forget to like to support, share for your friends to explore, and subscribe to Tootie Mystery so you don't miss any mysteries that are about to be revealed. In 1991, Ballyvaughan was not yet commercialized by tourism. It was a place you could walk around in less than half an hour, where families had lived for 3 or 4 generations. And it was in this peaceful place that one of modern Ireland's strangest disappearances occurred, without a trace, as if they had never existed. Conor and Sheila, an unlikely couple. Conor Dwyer, 62, is a tall, quiet man who retired early from his job as an electrical engineer in Galway. He enjoys gardening, reading books on astronomy, and is known for being punctual and meticulous. His wife, Sheila, 58, is a gentle woman who worked as a nurse and then taught part-time at a local primary school. They have no children. That's the only thing in their lives that has ever caused people to talk. But no one would say they are lonely. They have each other, and their white house with blue trim on Finnevar Road is a symbol of peace and stability. August 3rd, 1991, the day it all stopped. That morning, neighbors saw Sheila watering the plants in front of the house. She waved to the paper boy, as usual. Conor was trimming the hedges, wearing his trademark brown jumper. The last sighting of the pair was around 2 p.m. They were walking towards Blackhead Beach, carrying a small bag and a light jacket. The weather was fine, the sea was calm, there was no sign of danger. But they did not return. 9 p.m., first alert. As night fell and the lights were still off, neighbor Eileen McGarry became concerned. She knocked on the door, called out, but there was no response. Their car was still parked in front of the house. The dog did not bark. There was no sound. At 10:30 p.m., the local police were called. A quick check was made. No signs of forced entry. The door was locked. Panty robes folded on the bed. The landline phone unplugged. Passports and cash intact. Everything was perfect. The next morning, the search begins. On August 4th, the Garda, Irish police, began a small-scale search. They searched along the Blackhead coastline, a rugged area with steep limestone cliffs. Every crevice, every bush was searched. Even sniffer dogs were called in. The result? Nothing. No clothes, no blood, no foreign objects. No footprints leading down to the sea. No one saw them return to the village. The small bag they were carrying? Never found. 6. The oddities emerge. The weather was fine that day, with no strong winds or waves, ruling out the possibility of sudden drift. No one saw them leave Blackhead, although there were a few tourists walking in the opposite direction at the time. No obvious reason for their disappearance. Financially stable, in good health, no family feuds. Sheila's personal diary found later the handwritten entry on August 2nd. Tomorrow, if it really happens, there's no going back, is haunting. 7. A strange detail, the public phone call. On August 5th, an anonymous call was made to the Garda station in Ennis. The man said in a hoarse voice, "They haven't had an accident. Stop looking for them." Then hung up. The call was traced to a payphone in Limerick, over 90 kilometers from Ballyvaughan. CCTV? No. Trace? No. Broken mirrors in an empty house. Police returned to search the couple's home again on August 7th. A new detail was noticed. The small mirror in the bathroom was slightly cracked, as if someone had tapped it. No strange fingerprints, but the dust behind the mirror frame suggested it had been recently tampered with. In Conor's bedside drawer, they found an old map of the Bun, marked in red pen at a little-known cave called Polnabrone Shadow. No one knows why he marked it. The question hangs in the air. They left the village for a walk on a sunny afternoon. No body, no clues, no sound of separation. Could it be that Conor and Sheila walked through a door we can't see? Let me know in the comments below. Do you want to continue to the next part, or comment below to let me know? When the waves do not return the man, the investigation falls into nothingness. The search on a large scale when the whole of Ireland looks to Ballyvaughan. On the morning of August 6, 1991, 3 days after Conor and Sheila disappeared, the Garda decided to expand the search area. This was no longer a local patrol, but a national missing persons operation. Focus areas: the entire coast from Ballyvaughan to Blackhead, the caves of the Bun, country roads and coastal cliffs, narrow underground caves, many of which have not been thoroughly surveyed. Rescue teams were reinforced from Galway, Ennis, and Dublin. Involved: diving team, search helicopter, sniffing dogs, volunteers from surrounding areas. Despite mobilizing everything possible, the results were chilling. No clothes, no shoe prints, no trace. Reverse flow: did Conor and Sheila ever want to leave? One of the Garda's key lines of inquiry revolved around the possibility. Was this a deliberate disappearance? Although hard to believe for those who knew them, the police were forced to check. There were no unusual transactions in their bank accounts. Passports were still at home. No plane, train, or ferry tickets had been purchased in their names. No farewell messages had been sent to any of their family or friends. However, a vague detail from an old friend named Colm O'Shea made things even more uncertain. He said, "A few weeks ago, Sheila said something strange. There are ways to disappear if you're brave enough. I thought she was just talking about the detective novels she used to read. Now I'm not so sure." The diary in the shadow behind the curtain. When the Gardas searched the house again on August 8th, they found a small leather diary hidden behind a bookshelf. Not a regular diary, but a sort of loose-leaf notebook, as if to remember important things. The most striking page read, "They say there's an opening, only if you don't look." Underneath, it was a hand diagram. 2 parallel lines leading to a spiral, the symbol resembling a stone archway. This detail caused a wild theory to begin to simmer in the minds of the investigators. Was there some mysterious belief that had prompted them to enter the invisible door? Strange note in a vase, landmark 2311. Do not return. As the police turned every corner, they discovered a small piece of paper rolled up in a vase on the porch. It simply read, landmark 2311, do not return. No one knew what 2311 meant. A coordinate? A code? A code? They checked the GPS. No match. They checked old maps of the area. No related landmarks either. There was only one coincidence. In the area behind Polnabrone Shadow Cave, where Conor's map had marked it, there was a rock with a faint number engraved on it, 2311. The strange encounter with the beggar, a detail that was largely overlooked, but later became a haunting factor. About 2 weeks before they disappeared, the Dwyers were seen having an unusually long conversation with a vagrant man who often sat in the corner of the small market in Ballyvaughan. He was about 60 years old, with disheveled hair and a steely gaze. A baker recalled, "I heard him say to Sheila, 'Not everyone is ready to step into the cracks, but you can. It's time.'" After the disappearance, the man was never seen again. No one knew his name. No one remembered his face. The cameras in the town at the time? Not working. Unclaimed mailbox. On August 10th, a letter arrived at the Dwyer's home, addressed to NC, with no postmark. The letter contained only a blurry photograph, taken from a distance of a small ravine with silhouettes of 2 people walking into it, dressed in similar clothes to Conor and Sheila that day. No time, no specific location. The handwritten note on the back read, "The world you know ends here." From there, the case was officially moved to a missing persons case with unusual circumstances. 7. When the media got involved, the disappearance spread nationwide. With heavy coverage from RT and the Irish Times, the case spread across Ireland. Theories circulating among the people. Getting caught up in a secret cult operating in the Bun. Committing an ancient ritual suicide related to Samhain. Passing through a dimensional portal in the Bun, a land with a mystical history dating back to Celtic times. Getting kidnapped by someone who knew them very well and had a plan in advance. However, no one dares to confirm anything because all the facts are too vague. From the real to the metaphysical, A couple living a simple life in a peaceful village. No enemies, no debts, no reason to run away. So what could wipe two people out of reality? Is the truth not in the world we know? Are you ready for the most exciting part? Comment to let Tootie know. The faceless man, shadows that have appeared and disappeared. Strangers around the house, strange notes from a neighbor. 2 weeks after the disappearance, the Garda approached Mrs. Eileen Kavanaugh, who lived only 80 m from the Dwyer house, to ask about anything unusual. At first, she shook her head, but after a moment of hesitation, she told what she had not dared to say before. On the night of August 3rd, around 11 o'clock, I saw someone standing under a tree in front of their house. No flashlight, not moving, just standing there. I thought it was Conor, so I didn't tell anyone. But when I went to bed, I took one last look. It was the same shadow. Didn't move for almost an hour. The next day, Conor and Sheila were missing. The car that appeared and disappeared, a postman's account. During the first week of the investigation, a local postman, Martin Walsh, provided a crucial detail that was initially overlooked. He said that early on the morning of August 4th, while delivering mail on a stretch of road near the cliff, he saw a shiny black car parked on the side of the road, no license plate. There was something like a faint red symbol on the windscreen. I didn't see anyone in it. When I came back 20 minutes later, it was gone. Not a single tire mark. The car was never identified. No one else in the area admitted to owning it or seeing it again. Matching dreams, 3 witnesses, 1 shadow. In a dramatic twist, 3 witnesses from 3 different areas, Ballyvaughan, Kinvara, and Gort, came forward to the police in September 1991, each reporting a chillingly similar dream. A high crevice in the rocks, howling wind, a faceless man standing in the distance, gesturing with his hand. Conor and Sheila walking into the darkness behind him. A repeated whisper, "They've chosen. They've chosen." The police were incredulous. But the strange thing was, the 3 men did not know each other. They had all written down descriptions by hand, and the symbol on the man's shirt was exactly the same, a single spiral. The symbol matched the one drawn in Sheila's diary. A stranger visiting the pub. The words of a knower. The Ivy Thorn pub's owner, Brian O'Connor, said that about 3 days before the disappearance, a man dressed like a tourist but talking like a monk had stopped by for a glass of whiskey. While listening to the weather report, he made a remark that made everyone turn to look. 2 souls will leave this place tomorrow. The waves will not bring them back. Mr. O'Connor tried to find the bill, but the customer paid in cash and did not record the name. Cameras in the pub? No. The man? No one has seen him again. The blackout and strange noises the night before they disappeared. A recording from the Ballyvaughan power station shows that at 2:37 a.m. on August 4th, there was an unusual short circuit within a 3 kilometers radius of the Dwyer house. Although the blackout lasted just over 10 minutes, some people in the area heard a long, loud buzzing sound like a train whistle underground. A couple, the McNallys, who lived 200 meters from the Dwyer's house, said they saw a faint blue light flashing from the cliffs behind the missing couple's house. Even more curious, in the same area, a police dog had been barking furiously but then suddenly gave up. The secret files? A sign of tampering? An anonymous source who worked at Garda HQ said, the Dwyer files were marked an IC3, meaning they needed to be passed on to the National Service due to security or anomalies. After that, no one at Ennis or Galway had access to the full original files. One inspector who was involved quietly left shortly after 1992. His name was Kieran Devlin, the same name that had come up in another Louth disappearance in 1984. Were they being followed? An old photo that speaks a lot. Sheila's best friend's daughter, Maura Keeley, happened upon a photo from 1989 taken at a group picnic. When she zoomed in, behind Conor and Sheila was a man in a woolly hat, standing at a distance, staring into the camera. No one in the group recognized him. The angle was not in a public area. The man's gaze, direct, as if you were watching. 8. The psychic's account. They're gone, but they haven't gone. At the end of October 1991, a well-known Dublin psychic, Cleona Healy, volunteered to contact the Garda. She had never been to Ballyvaughan, but claimed she had felt a strange tremor from the bun. Her words sent shivers down many people's spines. They weren't killed, but they entered a fracture zone, where time as we know it no longer flows. If they were alive, they would still be there, but not in the same body. The police did not make this testimony public, but people passed it on like a piece of legendary memory. There were witnesses who saw nothing, but felt everything. There were nameless figures, but present in every dark corner of the investigation. The Dwyers may not have been murdered, but something took them away from the world as we know it. And the one who knows may still be around. How do you feel about this? Comment to me. I'm already in diapers. A desperate search. The journey of an Ireland that refuses to let go. The boots that never stop walking. More than 2 years after the mysterious disappearance of Conor and Sheila Dwyer, most of the investigative files have been shelved and many key personnel have been transferred. But on the windswept hills on the shores where the waves pound day and night, there are still footsteps that never stop. Not those of the police, but those of ordinary people. Family, friends, and strangers who just feel something is wrong. Aisling Dwyer, Conor's niece, dropped out of her master's program at Trinity College to devote all her time and money to the search. She founded the Quiet Trail, a group of volunteers willing to join her in scouring rocky crevices, riverbanks, canyons, and places where no formal investigation has ever been. What's worth mentioning, many of the places they went to, the police dogs were not allowed to approach because of unsafe geology, according to the Special Inspector's office. But at some of those locations, the equipment measuring the wave and magnetic fields gave abnormal results. Unpublished data. In 2024, a shocking internal leak. An internal memo from the Echo 4 team, a unit that specializes in handling cases of missing persons with unusual factors, was posted online. Among them, the following paragraph shocked the public. Pilot low-frequency vibration signal in the Old Quarry area. Abnormal response. Signs of bioresonance. Cancel recording. Move the investigation team. Signs of bioresonance. Not suitable for environmental conditions. Bioresonance? What does that mean? Many independent researchers got involved. They discovered that the area near the Carran Quarry, 11 kilometers from the Dwyer's home, had a very special topography. Beneath the ground was an ancient limestone cave system with a fluctuating magnetic field. Some meteorologists have dubbed this area the Dead Triangle, a place where short signal blackouts have occurred since the 1980s. Radio signal at 2:44 a.m. One of the most shocking discoveries came from an abandoned local radio station. CLD 92 in Anistaman used to broadcast FM, but was shut down in 2007. In May 2024, a team surveying the old station for a school project discovered a forgotten recording in its electronic archives. The recording was very grainy, but when the noise was filtered out, the radio waves were mixed with a female voice whispering. We're still going. Under the rock. There's light, but it's not the sun. If anyone can hear. The recording ended with a small electrical pop and static. Sound experts confirmed that the signal occurred at 2:44 a.m. on August 4th, 2023, the exact time the Dwyer outage was reported. People began to wonder, could they have sent a signal from deep underground? Or could someone have used a radio to transmit a clue and been silenced? The masked man in the dark. Another strange phenomenon began to spread among the searchers. The masked man in the rock. More than 7 witnesses, at various times in 2024, reported seeing a man in a long raincoat, wearing an eyeless mask, briefly appearing near natural rock arches, particularly in the Palnagallam cave area. Each described the same thing. He never turned around, just looked. A witness named Oshin said, I felt like I was being watched by something that had no shape. The mask had no eye holes, but I knew it was looking at me. When the Garda investigated the report, they called it a hallucination caused by low light conditions and prolonged stress. But those in the Quiet Trail believed otherwise. It was a guardian, something that didn't want them to get close to the truth. A guide, or mislead. In her despair, Aisling received an anonymous email from someone calling themselves Fayed, Gaelic for a while. He said he had lived for years in the rocky forest near Kilnaboy and had seen a couple who looked exactly like Conor and Sheila walking through the rocks at night, seemingly guided by someone. Fayed proposed a meeting, leading Aisling and two others deep into the dead zone. The meeting took place in thick fog, lasting just 11 minutes. He left behind a rough map, marking 3 geological faults that he said had an unnatural echo. When Aisling returned a second time, Fayed had disappeared. His tent was empty, no trace left. The real one? A decoy? Or the final link? The quest beyond reality. In March 2025, a team of archaeologists working with the Quiet Trail team conducted an informal survey of the Slieve Carran cave. Near a point on the Fayed map, they discovered a strange crack inside the stone arch, showing signs of artificial expansion. Not prehistoric, but less than 5 years ago. What was inside the crack? A hollow space, more than 6 meters deep, with signs of light scorching on the walls. The thermometer gave an unusually low reading, almost freezing, despite the warm 16 degrees outside. Nothing more was found. But in the leader of the archaeology team's notebook, a final scribble was written. There's something here. Not stone, not wind, not people. Ireland did not give up. The people here have lived for centuries amid legend and fear, but also amid perseverance and a thirst for justice. The Dwyer's disappearance has become something that has transcended the boundaries of conventional investigation, entering the gray area of the unexplained. And whatever the answer, it is clear something or someone does not want the truth to come out. The black hole of memory, when truth can kill belief. During the journey of Conor and Sheila Dwyer in search of traces, no one could have expected that the truth would sink deeper than the darkness of those caves, where memories are distorted, where the boundary between reality and illusion becomes blurred. The story is not just about a disappearance, but gradually turns into a journey into a black hole of the mind, where anyone who dares to step in will have to pay the price with their own beliefs. The mystery of the black hole of memory. Independent scientists from a volunteer archaeological team have discovered an unusual phenomenon in the Slieve Carran cave area. Sensors measuring brain waves and magnetic fields recorded a continuous interference area, like a twisted space, directly affecting the nervous system of people nearby. People who have been near this area have reported feeling disoriented, with vague memories or a complete blankness for minutes to hours. Some have even experienced a time-stopping phenomenon, as if stuck in a moment. This partly explains why no one has found Conor and Sheila's bodies or any clear clues despite years of searching. It is possible that they have disappeared not only physically, but also in their memories and time, as if falling into an invisible space, another dimension just underground. Survivors from the other side, even more strangely, while digging inside the newly discovered crack, Aisling's team discovered a small object, a metal box with ancient symbols and a silver bracelet, confirmed to be Sheila's. But that's not all. There was also a small recording in the box of unknown origin. As she listened, Sheila's voice rang out. If anyone can hear us, please believe that we are still here, trapped between two worlds. Something doesn't want us to return. The recording ended abruptly with a gasp and an echo that sounded like a call of Conor. Sheila, don't come back. A parallel dimension? Geophysicists began to come up with a terrifying hypothesis. This ancient limestone region, with its complex cave system, could contain a gateway to a parallel dimension where time and matter operate differently. A place where those who enter will not be able to return to normal. According to this explanation, Conor and Sheila may have gotten lost or been pulled down by some force. The whispers, the masked figures, the strange signals, all were signs of an attempt to communicate from the other world. The black hole of faith. But the scariest thing is not the disappearance. It is that, after all, the relatives, the searchers, the whole community are facing a choice. Trust in science and proven truth, or believe in the supernatural, legends, and things that the naked eye cannot see? Aisling stands between two lines when she has to face the pain, the skepticism, and the loneliness in the journey to find her loved ones. She understands that there are truths so great, so unusual, that if known, they can forever change the human view of the world. The chapter ends with a scene of Aisling standing in front of a crevice in the rock. the flashlight shining on the damp cave wall. She drops Sheila's bracelet into the crevice. Suddenly, her phone vibrates. A text message arrives. "We're still here. Don't stop. The road is long." But there is no SIN number, no location sign. The ending scene ends with the sound of wind howling, the sigh of the cave, and the fading light, creating a feeling of both ending and beginning. Finally, how do you feel about this video? Do you want me to expand on the next parts? Please comment and let me know.